Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. God honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Asherallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who before losing their true heritage were known as and still are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about these guys, right? The SICARII Hebrew Israelite camp, right? And their illustrious leaders who have exalted themselves to the very top of the nation of Israel. Their cult of personality. You have here on the right, Elazar Ben Loya, right, which basically means son of Levi, right, because he's he is of Haitian descent, right? He's shown with images of his parents, his Haitian father and his Edomite mother. You got Hassad and you got Deacon Hakah, right? These are the three heads of the SICARII group. Now, this lesson is not going to go into the minutiae and the details of how the book of Hebrews in the New Testament is in fact the word of the Lord, because it is. There's been so many videos that the fellow Akim here at Great Millstone have gone through that have cut to shreds all the things that these demons have been talking about, man. Now, this lesson is ultimately just going to be a warning to anybody out there who is still watching and listening or even following this group known as the SICARII, okay? Now, if you've watched my videos, you've known that I've talked about this notion about a filtering system that the Lord has set up, right? And the camp of the SICARII is simply another one of these filters that you must get past to be within the elect group or the remnant which the Lord will save. And why do I say that? Well, because you see, the SICARII has made it very clear that they are not following the 100% doctrine which is written in the Bible. They have said many things, but namely this last thing where you had the exalted Grand Poobah, Gorilla Hebrew himself, say that the book of Hebrews is not the word of the Lord. Now, we understand here at Great Millstone that what is written in the book of Hebrews are the words of the Lord, though they were written by Timothy, who we all know who Timothy was in the Bible, right? It tells you that in the Bible, right? Because you have devils like this guy here, this demon, and when I say demon, this guy here, from the stories I've heard, he seems like a cool guy, right? But he has a demon on him, man. He has a demon of fame, of power, of fortune on him, man. Right? And that's what's getting to these men, that's causing them to go off. You see, because since the Passover that we had just gone through this last year, the SICARII camp has been basically going down since then, man. Right? Not only did they commit folly on the Passover by holding their after Passover party, but you shouldn't even have a party after Passover as it's a solemn assembly. They had it at a stripper club. I don't give a crap what they say, what it was, whatever. It was a damn club nonetheless, right? They were making, that's attributed to having leaven in your house, right? And what did they do after that for the next week when they should have, continued to keep leaven out of their spiritual house? They continued to uphold their decision and didn't humble down, right? They made 3-5-hour videos trying to condemn everybody who was trying to condemn them, right? Like the demons that they have on them, man. Now, let's go and watch this video real quick and just see what this guy talks about.
The Levitical priesthood, because they believe that Paul wrote Hebrews. You can't.
He's talking about us, Great Millstone.
Prove that. Niggas will put a book that they don't even know the author of over Torah, which is Christian.
This is Hebrews 13 and 25. Grace be with you all. Amen. Written to the Hebrews from Italy by Timothy. Now, that's as plain as it gets, okay? The book of Hebrews was written by Timothy. Now, yes, you have, scholars and all these people who say, well, the writing style was in the style of Paul, and we believe this and we believe that. No, man. You see, if you're going to be in this truth, and if you're going to have faith that the Lord is all powerful and all willing, right, and able to do anything, the things that are in the 1611 Bible, the King James Version, are the things which the Lord needed to put into the Bible for you to get your salvation. And what is that? Those are the things that were written for our understanding and our salvation, okay? So everything that is in the Bible, including the author of who wrote the book of Hebrews, if it says it was written by Timothy, the book of Hebrews was written by Timothy, right? Because, the Lord isn't going to go through all his great power of getting this book to come together, and all of a sudden, this last book just happened to be slid right in, that the devil just happened to, get his minions on earth to sneak this book in. No, man. See, these people, these guys, they don't have faith. And ultimately, why is that? Well, because you see, in the beginning, when they all started off, they more than likely were sincere and they were down about this truth. But what happened is that let me give you a little rundown of these two guys here on the side. Hassad, I don't know too much about Hassad. I'm guessing, from all intents and purposes, from what everybody says, he seems like he's an upstanding guy, right? But he's just along with a bad crowd, okay? Talking about Deacon Hakam and Alizé. Basically, Hassad came into this group, and more likely he's being tempted and provided with money, right? And platform of power. Because the story goes is that this guy here, Guerrilla Hebrew, started off with Great Millstone, but ultimately he left after a lot of problems with leadership, right? He was at the Great Millstone San Diego camp, right? He didn't basically want to hook up with the fellow brothers here in Los Angeles, right? He was just always elusive, from my understanding, right? And later on, when he left, this guy did fucking devilish things, from fucking setting up a brother up in North California to get fucking attacked, right? Having him punched in the face on camera, right? And then laughing about it later on, showing that he was behind it. Or this guy here, Hakam, I'm not even gonna call him a deacon, man. He's just Hakam. He used to be with the Los Angeles Great Millstone camp, but apparently what happened, he was a ladies' man and everything, just kind of how he is today. Basically, he ended up butthurt, and he ended up leaving camp, never came back after he got fucking rebuked, right, for the shit he was doing. Well, what did these guys go and do? Instead of, humbling down, taking the rebuke like all of us here at Great Millstone, we all do. Because when you get into Great Millstone, you're going to be chastised, you're going to be reprimanded for little things or big things, man. And that's a test of the Lord. And you got to humble yourself and show that you are fallible, that you can get things wrong, right? Even if you believe 100% that you are in the right, you just got to take it, right? What does the scripture say? To suffer, even if you weren't responsible for it, man, right? And that the Lord would ultimately repay you back. Now, these two guys, what did? They took off, right? And they started their own thing. So we're going to get into a story of other Levites who wanted to do their own thing instead of following Moses. And we're going to find out what happened to them. Let's read this first. This is Matthew 17 and 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Well, what are the fruits of the SICARII? Well, unfortunately, with this last Passover, we got a prime view of what the fruits of the SICARII camps are, man, by watching their disgusting Passover, man. It was a desecration of sacred, holy day, right? And not only that, but in these last days when we're freaking so close to the end, these guys go off and have a fucking Hebrew hoedown and shit at a club, and have these skanks there with fucking champagne and sparklers, right? Doing all these things where you have stories of guys filling up on these women and stuff like that, and you know, all these horrible things, man, things that should not be done on the Sabbath, right? Because let's give it to them that, right? Because these devils have come back and try to give up all these excuses for saying that it didn't happen during the Passover ceremony, that it was afterwards. Well, it was still the fucking Sabbath, you idiots. And ultimately, man, when you understand how liars work, man, you understand that a sinful man will not be reproved. That's what these guys are, man, right? They have things like that. They have little flyer events as if this is some type of club when they're about to go to a town to do the work. Making these posters, making a big old event like it's gonna fucking be the greatest party ever. You gotta be there and shit. Because what they're doing, and then is ultimately they're building up a cult of personality, man. Right? Just like these other groups out there, man. The IUIC, the ISUPK, the GOCC, the HOI, and now you got the SICARII, man, right? Because they've joined the fucking 501c3 non-profit organization status, man. And hey, that's why they're having an HQ grand opening, man, down there. And I believe they're also opening one in Atlanta. So this shows you, you know, just what are the fruits of the SICARII group, man, right? Are they sincere or are they in it for the money? Well, it's very plain that it's the latter. Them showing up at places with fucking guns to do the work, right? When the scriptures say, you know, not to do that, man, to leave your staves at home, you know, showing up, right? This is how hilarious this guy was, man, right? He had a bulletproof vest out there preaching while everybody else in his group had nothing on, man. What about these other guys, man? What about your readers? What about the guys here, right? They don't get bulletproof vests, right? And then what does he do the next following week or the next time he shows? He shows up without a bulletproof vest, right? Because his ass got rebuked. You see, these guys here, they're show Hebrews. They're doing it for the views and they're doing it for the likes. And why is that? Because ultimately that all translates to money, right? Because I know these guys, man. We've all seen guys like this. These are the guys that can never have a job. They can never hold shit down, right? They're always fucking hustling. They're making something. They're making a fucking music video. They want you to buy their albums. They want you to join in their launch party for the CZYN network. It's all a hustle, man. It's a gimmick hustle that these devils use to sell their wares, and they use the truth to push it, man. Look at this, man. This is Hakaz's Instagram page, man. Look at this. His clothing line or whatever, I think, right? Yahweh with a UFO. It looks cool, but what the hell, man? Does having a shirt and having, you know, fresh kicks and a fresh shirt with fringes have anything to fucking do with this truth, man? Did you see Apostle Paul, Apostle Peter, Timothy, James out there, you know, pushing their street line? No, man. I'm not even gonna put the audio on this at first. I want you to just look at this. Look at what these guys are. Look at the guys in the background, just going back and forth, holding red cups. What does this have to do with the scriptures, with teaching? Look at these guys, look like gangsters, right? They say, oh, they're singing about the scriptures and everything. But look, man, they have their head covers. You have Easy E back here and shit with glasses on, holding a fucking staff. Look at, he's right behind Elazar. You got Hassad again back there. Look at him right there in the white, looking like he doesn't even want to be involved in this. But I'm sure, because he knows the scriptures and he has a gift for the word, that he's there for the money, man. You got Easy E back here, fucking just nodding away. Look at this shit, man. This is the fruits of the SICARII. This is 1 John 4 and 5. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. And when you watch the reply videos that these guys are doing right now to all the Great Millstone videos that are going out there, and you look at their comments, you have the few comments out there that are telling it like the truth, like basically letting them know that they're going off. But the majority of it is women or just worldly ass guys that are talking about that they should do them and that they're doing right and, you know, stay up player and all that shit. People who are obviously worldly, right? Because these people, they appeal to the 2/3 of our society, right? When I say our society, I'm talking about the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see, like I said, these guys are simply one of the final filters. Because again, I admit, man, I'll watch some of these SICARII, you know, edifying lessons because they're good. But the thing is you got to get past all that bullshit that they push, man. The fucking matching garments, the music videos, the, you know, networks are trying to open up, all the gangster glorification, right? All that ghetto ass shit that they're trying to bring into this truth. You got to get past that. And then when you listen to their breakdowns of the scriptures, the way they you know, preach, especially that brother Hassad, man. This is why a lot of us actually believe that he's, you know, he doesn't want to get caught up in this, man. But you know what? He may just simply be like Tazariak over at the IFCPK, man. He's gonna end up getting so caught up with this shit that he's gonna end up dying with these devils, right? Because he's gonna stick to this group, and ultimately this is gonna be a test for him, right? And any other possible elect that are within the SICARII, man. If you are following or still listening to SICARII, you need to realize, man, that these guys is not where it's at, man. These guys are simply another stumbling block that's gonna catch up the Hebrew gangsters, the fucking stylish apparel Hebrews, the Hebrews that want to just be rebellious, right? That's where these Hebrews, these 2/3 are gonna end up going, is right here to SICARII, right? And the thing is that is ultimately my warning to you, is to remember that what you're doing in this truth, you're not in this fucking truth to become popular, to make money. That's where these guys are going off, man. Like I said it before, man, if your group has a fucking logo that they're selling, and especially if they're a 501c3 group, then you're in the wrong fucking group, right? Was this what the apostles were doing? Like I said again, did Paul have his clothing line? Did Peter try to, you know, have you listen to his streaming, you know, audio or listen to his poems that he write? Would he sell them? Was he selling poems and shit at the marketplace? No, man. There were humble men doing the work of the Lord, which is telling the story of the Bible. But a lot of people aren't going to see that, because a lot of people who are in this for the gimmick, it's the fad of the moment, man. They want to just belong, right? They want to have matching shirts. They want to belong to a group. A bunch of weak men and shit, man. They're going to gravitate to people like this who have built a cult of personality and are making money off of it. But let's go ahead and read a story that, you know, we're just going to get through this real quick, that tells you, man, a similar story of what happened to other Levites who thought that they could usurp the power which the Most High has set upon earth. Now, when I say that, you got to understand, just as Korah here in Numbers chapter 16 tried to usurp the power of Moses, Alizé is also trying to usurp the power of Apostle Tahar. And when you understand the history of how this royal priesthood has came down from a high priest Abba Bivens, it is firmly in the lap of Apostle Tahar and the apostles of Great Millstone. Period. Great Millstone has not gone off. It is still the place where the Most High is dealing with, man. Yes, we may not be fancy. We may not have matching garments. We don't have, you know, the latest streaming music, right? Even though a lot of brothers make some really good ass music, right? We don't put it out on the internet for you guys to fucking listen to, man. This is stuff that we do on our own, right? And we share it amongst the brotherhood. We're not out there making videos or trying to set up headquarters or you know, do lavish parties. No, man. We are keeping it humble, and we're simply doing the work. As the scripture has said, we are trying to keep it as 100% as possible, and we're doing it. But you got other, people like the group of SICARII and the people who are following them, naively I should add, that think that they need to do more, man. But let's go ahead and listen to this incredibly relevant story of what the Lord did to the men who try to usurp the authority which he set upon the earth. Right? This is Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, right? Making him a Levite, and Dothan and Abiram, the son of Eliab, and On, the son of Pilath, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. Right? And look at this, right? When you look at the, the SICARII pages, man, they have gathered onto them a lot of men of renown. Right? I don't know who a lot of these people are, right? But I'm pretty sure they're people of status, man. So much so that that by surrounding themselves with these people of status, that SICARII, the group of SICARII, has managed to bring what they believe is influence, man. But again, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. Continuing. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yahweh Bashim Ashai is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of Yahweh Bashim Ashai. Right? Isn't that what SICARII basically said? That Apostle Tahar is too old? That the Lord is dealing with them too? Right? Right? You have SICARII trying to revive the whole Levitical priesthood, man. Right? Annulling the Messiah, right? Yahweh Shai, who came forth in the stead, in the same likeness as the priesthood of Melchizedek, man. Right? Basically, voiding out or basically displacing the Levitical priesthood, man. Right? Because of the Messiah, we no longer need the ordinances that the Levitical priesthood would have done. Right? Because as the scriptures say, man, that it was simply there for a place. Right? And what were they a placeholder for? It was the Messiah. Right? And this is explained in the book of Hebrews, which is why Elazar wants to remove that. Doesn't want to give the book of Hebrews, its due diligence, man, and its reverence to God, because that's their hustle, man. Their hustle is that they're bringing back the Levitical priesthood, and that they're the Levites, and that you got to give them 10% of your tithes and shit, man. Right? They want 10% of your taxes, people. That's their hustle. Continuing. And then Moses heard it. He fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto his company, saying, Even tomorrow Yahweh Bashim Ashai will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take your censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before Yahweh Bashim Ashai tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahweh Bashim Ashai doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the power of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahweh Bashim Ashai, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren and sons of Levi with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also? Right? And you see that right there, was Moses basically telling these Levites, hey man, look, the Lord has already given you a blessing, right? He has allowed you to be his mediator, to do the services, in the temple for the children of Israel. Do you now also want even more? Do you want now to be, take the priesthood from Moses, right? That's what SICARII is trying to do, man. They're trying now to take the leadership role from Great Millstone, man, right? See, that's the same thing that these devils are doing today that these guys here did back then when Moses was on the scene, man. Right? And this right here is such a heavy part. I'm going to read it to you in the NLT. Right? Let's go and read that. This is Hebrews 16 and 8 in the NLT. Then Moses spake again to Korah. Now listen, you Levites. Does it seem insignificant to you that the God of Israel has chosen you from among all the community of Israel to be near him, so you can serve in Yahweh Bashim Ashai's tabernacle and stand before the people to administer to them? Korah, he is already given this special ministry to you and your fellow Levites. Are you now demanding the priesthood as well? You see that? That tells you so much plainly, man. Right? So this is just ultimately, man, the spirit that is on these Levites, man. Right? So who knows, man? Akah, Alazar, and Hassad may be these same freaking Levites, man. But you never know, right? We're going to find that out in the kingdom. Let's continue. Verse 11. For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against Yahweh Bashim Ashai. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dothan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Right? And right here is already rebellion, man. Right? You see, because ultimately, just as people were rebelling against Moses, man, you have people rebelling against the order of the Lord today, man. See, the way it should be is that everybody should be under Great Millstone, right? All the sincere people, that is, right? They shouldn't be trying to do their own thing, but that isn't what a lot of Israelites are doing, man. So this is why ultimately the Lord, he's going to bring down the rest of these other camps, and ultimately watch, and mark my words, man. Great Millstone will be the camp that is going to be revealed to be the true house of the Lord, man. That we're going to be the ones that are actually doing what the Lord has said, man. And all those who are sincere are going to leave their camps and ultimately are going to come against their old camps and reside here at Great Millstone, or at least with the teachings that we give, man. Right? But until then, you're going to have people who, our community are going to see as good people, who are going to do what Abiram and Eliab did here and fucking rebel against the order. Verse 13. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? Right? Because you see right here, Abiram and Eliab, they were upset that they had to leave Egypt, man. And that they were seeing that, hey, Moses was trying to become a prince over all Israel, man. Right? They wanted a piece of it, man. So what did they do? They wanted to do their own thing with Korah. Right? Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto Yahweh Bashim Ashai, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before Yahweh Bashim Ashai, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before Yahweh Bashim Ashai, every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. Right? And for you that don't know a censer, is like a little lamp, right? That, you know, usually you see it at like these at the Vatican or churches where they have it on a string and it's going back and forth and incense is coming out of it. That's a censer, right? And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them onto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of Yahweh B'Shem Ashai appeared onto all the congregation. Right? So the Lord showed up, man, in his UFO, right? His chariot, right? And you see this time, Korah, right, which in this case could be SICARII, man, right? He had gathered all these wicked-ass fucking 2/3 Israelites, right, to all come up against Aaron and Moses there, man. Right? They're all gathered around, man, to show Moses and Aaron, you know, what's up, right? Because they thought that they were going to take over. Let's continue. And Yahweh B'Shem Ashai spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. You see that? So just as the Lord told Moses to get, you know, away from Korah, Abiram, and Eliab, right, and the congregation that had come with them, because he was going to destroy them, right? We're telling you, listeners out there, just to get away from SICARII, man, because the Lord is about to destroy this camp, man, right? With the Passover folly, the shooting, and now this, right? You know, it's going to be a surprise if these guys, you know, don't come out of this, you know, without, you know, having some crazy shit happen to them, man. Continuing. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the power of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And Yahweh B'Shem Ashai spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dothan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dothan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So right here, man, when we're out here telling you, man, not to get involved with SICARII, don't be buying their gimmicky fucking shirts with fringes, their you know, scarves, their freaking, you know, CDs, or, you know, downloadable music, or their videos, or go to their freaking events. Don't do that shit, man, because you're going to be consumed in all their sins by doing it, man. Right? And these devils, they're trying to fleece you, man. They see you as sheep ready to be fleeced, and they want to get some of that money, man. Right? So just as you know, Aaron, and just as Moses, you know, went to tell this warning, we're telling you right now, man, stay away from this group SICARII, right? And you need to, and if you're around them, you need to start separating yourself from them, man. Stop watching their videos. Stop giving them any mind, right? And because again, the only people who are going to be sticking with the group of SICARII are going to be the people who are in the congregation, who's going to receive of their plagues, man, who are going to be consumed in all their sins. Verse 27. So they gat up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dothan, and Abiram on every side, and Dothan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that Yahweh B'Shem Ashai hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahweh B'Shem Ashai hath not sent me. Right? So right here he's saying, man, so these guys die, you know, peacefully in their sleep, or when they're old and gray, then hey, the Lord isn't dealing with me. Right? But continuing. But if Yahweh B'Shem Ashai make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, and all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder, and that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. You see that, man? The Lord straight opened up the ground underneath these devils, man, and consumed them, man. They fell into the pit, right? Which is exactly what's going to end up happening to SICARII and all their followers, man. This is why we're telling you, man, you got to start separating yourself from not only SICARII, but these other groups, man. You need to stop listening to ISUPK, IUIC, GOCC, HOI, HODC, all these other groups, man. Just start separating yourself from them, man. And just start watching Great Millstone, man. We're not out here trying to get your money or trying to sell you fucking shirts with fringes or some sort of, hip fucking t-shirt. No, man, we're just here trying to give you the truth, right? And we're trying to warn you, man, before you get swallowed up by the same fate that is going to come for these devils. You need to separate yourself, man. Continuing, verse 33. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. Right? You see that? And that's what's ultimately going to happen to the people who are following these false groups, man. You're going to disappear from the congregation. You're going to end up dying the death, and you're going to be reborn into the kingdom through the loins of Israelites who did make it. Right? Lord willing, I'm one of them, but you're going to find that it's going to be the men of Great Millstone that are going to be the majority of the Israelites that are going to be saved and be part of the 1/3 of Israel that are going to make it. Right? But not people that are out there trying to fucking sell you, streaming music, trying to, wear bulletproof vests and make it a fashion show, trying to make a mockery and a fucking hustle out of the truth. Those guys aren't gonna, gonna make it to the kingdom in one piece, man. They're gonna die, right? The Lord's gonna swallow their asses up, and they are gonna perish from among the congregation. Verse 34. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. And they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. Right? So ultimately, man, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to not take heed to what Great Millstone have said and are only going to hear the side of what SICARII are saying, man, with all their fucking lies and their bullshit explanations and excuses. And it's only going to be when they get taken down or get, destroyed or locked up, that people are going to be like, oh man, these guys weren't the men of the Lord. And, then they're going to start going about looking for who the truth is. But, by that time, it may be too late. Continuing. And there came out a fire from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. Right? So the Lord straight fucking smoked them from his chariot, man. A laser came out, boom, and consumed them, man. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hollow. And the censers of these sinners, right? The censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. Right? So see, that's how cold the Lord is, man. Right? These censers, these incense burners, that these 250 men thought that they were, being all righteous and doing the good works. The Lord straight melted their asses, man, and he took their censers and he said, hey, beat these down until they're flat, square, flat plates, and then cover the altar with them to be a sign to the rest of the congregation, man. And what was that going to be a sign of? Verse 40, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before Yahweh B'Shem Hashai, that he be not as Korah and as his company, as Yahweh B'Shem Hashai said to him by the hand of Moses. Right? And you see that? So you see, and even though back then it was only the lineage of Aaron that was able to come and be the priest, we're telling you right now, man, that there is now an order that was set up, which is dictated by the Bible, man. Right? When the Messiah came and was that ultimate sacrifice, that did away with the Levitical priesthood, right? And now the sacrifices that you give are your prayers, right? Every Israelite of the 12 tribes who is righteous in this truth, man, if you're out there, you're praying, you're teaching, you are the priest, man. You are the new priesthood which the Lord ordained to be out there to teach his neighbor, man, to wake up our nation. This is Matthew 7:22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wondrous works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Right? And you see, so you Israelites out there who are following the teachings of Great Millstone, which is the 100% teachings of the Bible, you understand that the Messiah, whose true biblical Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai, which the rest of the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, you understand that we are setting him up as the Messiah, right? He is the high priest of Israel, right? He is the person that we worship, right? Right? Not like SICARII says that we're not supposed to worship Yahweh Shai, or that they are the priests, right? And that Eleazar is the fucking high priest of Israel, man, right? Disannulling the Messiah, right? Those are going to be the Israelites who are going to say, here, man, that you know, did we not cast out devils in thy name? So even though SICARII is out there saying Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man, who the heck cares, man? They're not doing the work. They're not doing the will of the Father, man. They're fighting against the truth, right? They're not believing the report, right? They're calling the report false, right? By saying that the book of Hebrews is not the word of the Lord. So I just wanted to touch upon that. We've gotten so many, you know, great, amazing points to destroy these guys, right? That, you know, by the end of all this, the only people that will be following SICARII are going to ultimately be the 2/3, which is why I said, rest in peace, SICARII and their followers. Because again, if you are still following SICARII after this latest debacle, then that's it for you, man. You are numbered amongst the 2/3, plain and simple, right? So with all that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Dash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.